The first film I'm going to talk about is All the Time in the World. These pictures were taken on the film set. My role in All the Time in the World is production designer, and that has always been something I wanted to work on. All the Time in the World is about an injured ex-basketball player overcome his tragedy and gets closure with his teammates and his career. We have experienced plenty of difficulties as our choice of location was outdoor, also in the winter, so it was really hard for us to control the lightings. And the day of filming was raining, so the health and safety issue was hard to avoid. Um, the basketball pitch was extremely slippery, so it was hard for the basketball actors to bring their skills to play. It was also difficult for our DOP to do the follow up shots of the match because the basketball pitch was really slippery. For me, as a production designer, it was hard for me to create an warm, enthusiastic look that our director wanted in a dimmed daylight. So also hard for me to keep the actors to look the way I expected them to look like. Our inspiration film was just right, and here's some shots we got inspired from in the film.
The Nets rock couldn't get any worse.
Of how the film is full of love, groove, hope, and patience, which is something we also want to represent and recreate in our own film. At the same time, it was also challenging for us as an all girls film crew to create something that is not usually considered womanly. For us, it was very interesting and empowering. The storytelling theory we have used is tragedy and rebirth story structures. Our film strictly followed the plot of starting with a dark spell and a happily ever after ending. Contribution to the film is to design the film set and use actors' hair, clothing, makeup to present the story in a completely the angle to the audience. And it's interesting for me to see how even the littlest detail in the film can change the film language. In first part of the film, I styled the actor in rather clean clothing with jewelries to show his wealth and confidence. Here, I have messed the actor's hair and dark shadowed his eyes, planned his outfit to express the vulnerability of the character. Really well, in my opinion. The story is told clearly by film language, and the storyline follow the theory, but it could have been better by the choice of music, sound record, and the framing of shots. The choice of music at the end of the film made the film more cliche than we have intended to be, and the sound record technique we have used made the sound in the film rather unnatural, and which is something we should definitely work on in our future filming. As it is said, if you show a gun in the film, it has to be shot at some point. Being a production designer made me realize that even the littlest details in the film can change the storyline of the film. Also helped me to learn more about visual presentations of the film. The age target of the film is for all age, as it is trying to broadcast positive energy. Our film could also be more culture engaging by involve more basketball reference such as basketball judge or crowd, or using woman basketball player to show the woman power. The film isn't as good as we expect it to be, but but it shows our potential to do better in the future. Here are some shots from the second film set. Of the second film is called Singed, and I was responsible for the DOP role in this film. The story is based on a radical Christian woman who takes the matter of right and wrong into her own hands and plays God. Experienced difficulties in our second film, such as getting permission from the church to shoot from the inside of the church or to use their confession box. And there is potential health and safety issue with us standing from a high ground trying to take an overhead shot. The time of the second film is decided by everyone in the film group, since we have been wanting to try to do a thriller film. We considered with our budget we might not be able to deliver too much of an action effect. So we try to create the suspense and the surprise for the audience from the actor herself. It's inspired by film Girl Interrupted. However, the shots of our confession scene and the church scene is inspired by film Dong Zhong. We wanted to achieve the symmetrical look of the church in our film. We tried to recreate the dimmed background lighting of the confession scene. The film has engaged the Christian culture. The whole story is based on the belief of Christianity, with the action of confession in engage with its culture. The storytelling theory we tried to apply is narrative theory. We distracted and reconstructed the story of the film. Contribution to the storytelling of the film is to use my camera to express and tell the audience the story by visual presentation. As DOP, I learned that from different angle, different shots can present different energy and for the audience. And I learned how the close-up shots brought suspension into the aura of the film. The close-up shots to build up suspension throughout the film to reveal the final surprise at the end.
The way God wants.
To be improved in our film, especially the lighting of the confessional scene. The filter was a bit too red and it has caused conflict with the rest of the film. I also think some of the close-up shots should be more stable so it would look more professional. I think my ability of storytelling has definitely improved, especially with camera. I learned that how sometimes even the slightest position change of camera can change the perspective and the meaning behind it. The target audience of our film is 15 years old and above because the plot is related, and it might cause some discomfort to some families. From a culture standpoint, our film could definitely be more culturally engaging, as more Christian traditions could be used and brought up, such as prayers and etc. It would bring more connection to the audience, and for us, it could help us to create a stronger image to the film. And overall, I think we have improved. However, there is a lot more to be perfected, whether it is framing or lightings. But I think we are definitely walking towards a positive direction. Thank you for watching my presentations.